All right, so hear me out. I've had time to calm down, think this through, reflect, and do all that kind of stuff on this game. And I'm going to come with a positive attitude. Welcome to my thoughts post-match. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to a calmer Wolfie today. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just really tired. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new. By the way, my new prediction video is out on our second channel, the Footy Network. So make sure you go check that out. Scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comment. Please do subscribe there as well. Lots of Premier League content for you guys. And don't forget tonight, 8 p.m, Sir Frank Clark will be joining us. Maybe that's what's calming me down, man. Freaking fanboying Frank Clark. I can't think of a better way to spend the evening. 8 p.m, we're kicking off, so make sure you join us. Okay, there's a lot to talk about still. I know we've had Grumpy Old Reds. I'll leave the link for that at the end screen if you missed it last night. I know I may have blown a gasket or two on the player ratings, and I stand by everything I've said. I haven't changed my mind on those thoughts. But what I want to do now is kind of look ahead and take stock, right? I'm not doing this whole with third place, where did you think we were going to be narrative that the happy clappers tend to do. And if you're one of those, cool, all power to you. I don't mind it. I'm just saying from my stance here, I ain't doing that. What I'm looking at for me, and I'll be real with you guys, minimum now in the position we find ourselves in, dipping out of Champions League for me and my opinion is going to be disappointing if it were to happen. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I would be very disappointed. You put yourself in a position of this power and you end up blowing it for silly mistakes, man. We shouldn't have had the first half we did against Newcastle. We shouldn't have played like we did against Fulham. We shouldn't have held 5 to Bournemouth. There's all shoulda, coulda, wouldas in the Premier League. And yes, I'm sure every team can say that up and down that league table. But the key thing for me, I guess that's calmed me down the most, apart from Frank, is the fact that all those results this weekend went our way, barring Newcastle. All right, even I'll admit I've got the white flag out with Liverpool, but hey, I'm a fan, I can dream. Liverpool, don't go and bottle it now. But all the results, you look at Arsenal, they lost to West Ham. Man City lost to Liverpool. Newcastle gained on us. They halved their deficit. Bournemouth lost to Wolves. Shout out to our Midland brothers there. Chelsea lost to Aston Villa. It's not till you get down to 8th where another team gained points, and that's Aston Villa, who are now on 42. You could argue that's, done a bit of a munch bunch and pushed the pack together, but you got to expect that at this time of the season. And I look ahead to Wednesday. We've got Arsenal coming. And Arsenal are not in a good headspace. As much as I've blown my gasket in the last 24 hours, go and check out the Arsenal fans and see how they're feeling. Yet another year, trophyless, phase 5 or phase 6 or whatever hell their phases are right now under that fraud Arteta, their heads are gone. All they've got left realistically is Champions League. And I can't see them winning that. They ain't even got 1 star. So we've got them coming up. We have to win. Nuno has to sort out this mentality. He's got to make some serious changes to that team. He's got to sort out whatever this beef is that's going on behind the scenes. And on top of that, there are other fixtures coming up this midweek that can play into Forest's favour. You've got Liverpool taking on Newcastle. Now, I don't love Newcastle, but I have respect for Newcastle. But obviously, I now want Liverpool to win that game. You got Tottenham taking on Man City. Now, I hate Tottenham, but Tottenham have this voodoo over Manchester City. They're 3 dubs in a row as well in the league. Maybe Tottenham can hold back Man City or at least get a draw out of them. You look at the other contenders. Villa are going away to Palace. It's been a little iffy at home, but have been getting wins every other game. And then the other contenders, you got Chelsea, Southampton. You're going to have to give them 3 points. Sorry, Mike, come on, do us a favour. And then who else is left in the mix? That's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah, because we've got Arsenal. Oh, and Bournemouth go away to Brighton. And Brighton have just had back-to-back W's. So this is filling me with a little bit of renewed energy. But I can't excuse the play we saw on the pitch yesterday against Newcastle. It's unacceptable in my opinion. That takes nothing away from Newcastle. They schooled us in that first half and took their foot off the accelerator in the second. But we are better than that. We have to be critical, or should I say Nuno has to be ruthless now with some of the players. Einar has gone from player of the year to I think he needs to be dropped, just to send him a message. Just to send him a message that your performance aren't good enough. Stop going on Snapchat all the time. You need to be rested or dropped, whatever way he wants to word it. I would bring Nico Williams across to the right hand side and I'd bring Alex Moreno, who wasn't that great against Exeter, but you know what? It's a statement. That has to be done. There has to be changes in that midfield. Dominguez is not cutting it. I've been worried about him for a good few weeks now, and yesterday just underlined it. And in terms of, the rest of the balance of the team, we need an extra body in midfield. But we'll get into all the kind of nitty-gritty team stuff in tomorrow's video. If Forest can come away from Arsenal with 3 points, I personally will look back and think Newcastle was a blip, Fulham was a blip, we're back on track, we're now 3 points behind Arsenal, our fate is in our hands. And that's the key message of today. Forest need to get through these next 2 games, Arsenal and Man City. Ideally beating Arsenal and then maybe getting a draw against Man City. That keeps the gap to Arsenal down. It halves it, and it also sustains the gap we got at Man City. Now, if we could go back-to-back wins, that'd be even better. We double the gap to Man City and potentially go level on points with Arsenal, because they've got some sweaty matches coming up after us. They got the likes of Man U away. I know Man U are dusty, but they can struggle at Old Trafford, and then Chelsea as well, and there's all that rivalry there. So this isn't over, but this is 100% in our hands. Yes, okay, I'm giving up on the title unless Liverpool self-implode. But Forest now need to focus. And this is why it's so important, I think, for me and maybe for you guys, that when we speak to Frank tonight, when we're asking him the questions about the mentality of Forest, how did they go from dropping off about this time in that campaign where we finished third to getting back on track and in fact going on a long unbeaten streak at the end of the season? Forest didn't get back into third place until week 38 of that season. Now, granted, there was more games there, but it was still really towards the arse end of that season. So this should all be good stuff that helps us refocus, and I hope Nuno will watch it tonight. I doubt he will, but it will start to help you guys understand the mentality that is required for runs like this. So am I still annoyed about Newcastle? Of course I am. Every defeat hurts me, and I don't apologise for it. But it's in the rearview mirrors now, and to be honest, there isn't much time to kind of mourn it, to lick our wounds. We've got to go straight in within, 72 hours of that game, straight into Arsenal. Remember, they're a day extra rested as well, but they are missing some key players. And I just think they are so deflated and divided right now as a fan base that this is a good time to strike. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, the words charity and FC do come to mind when it comes to Forest. Isak hasn't scored for a good few weeks. Charity FC rolling. Newcastle haven't won a game between a semi-final and a Carabao Cup final in their old campaign or in this one until Charity FC rolled in. Arsenal are in desperate need of a win. Charity FC come in. Arsenal take their STOCKSFC corners. There's a lot of FCs going on in this video, but you get where I'm going. But I'm blocking that stuff out. And if we lose to Arsenal, there's only one person to blame, and that will be Ant. But Nuno, please, I'm begging you, get those fundamentals right. I want to hear you coming out in your presser and saying what you were saying before the Brighton game. Clean sheet is an imperative priority. Clean sheet is non-negotiable against Arsenal because they don't have an attack. You got to get that message to the players. And then if we've got to do Nuno ball, which I ain't going to lie to you guys, it's starting to wind me up now, then we do it. But let's get that win. We ended Arsenal's title run 2 years ago and stayed up with it. Or was it 3 years ago? Whatever it is. We need to do the same thing this Wednesday. We need history to repeat itself. Put that final nail in their coffin on Wednesday at our ground, under the lights. It's got to be done. There you go. There's as much positivity as I can give you. Has it helped you or not? I don't know. But I feel a little better. I feel a little bit better. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new here as well. Don't forget 8 o'clock tonight. And go check out the Footy Network right now where you can see my predictions for these midweek games. And I've already done my prediction for the Arsenal one. So go check it out. We'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock. Come on, you Reds.